Hey everybody, today we're going to be doing a deck profile with Kelley. She is going to do a deck profile on her great Daiyusha deck. So we're just going to go ahead and get right into it.
Yeah!
Take it away, Kelley.
So, for my starter, I use Dimensional Robo Dimagnum. I use Dimagnum because obviously you want to stick with the Dimensional Robo Vanguard, and Daiyusha is too much of a neg. For those of you who might not know what he does, basically he says choose 4 of your Dimensional Robo rear guards, put them into your soul, search your deck for Dimensional Robo Grade 3, and write it. And it costs you 4 to do his effect to get 1 Grade 3. And personally, Dimensional Robos don't have a lot of like swarming at all. So it's a really bad effect. So I use Dimagnum because he's 4 runners, so you can call him out. He's a 5k boost, and at any time during your main phase, you can pop him back into your soul to give a unit plus 4,000 power. So say you're stuck on Daiyusha, he makes Daiyusha's effect active. He goes back into the soul to help the Dimensional Robos needed in the soul for great Daiyusha if you really need it. And other than that, he's a 5k booster. So for my grade 3s, I am running a lot, so bear with me. I run 4 Break Ride Daikaiser. Daikaiser is too good not to run. The best part of the deck is when you can just Break Ride him on top of him and then end with a Daiyusha on top of it, because it's just consecutive turns of pressure, extra crits, and potentially screwing your opponent over with their guards. So ideally you want to continuously Break Ride over him, like a lot of Break Rides, but he's really good. When he's boosted by a unit, he gets plus 2,000, so it's a little bit of a help, a buff early game. He costs 1 Counterblast to do the Break Ride effect, but that's not really a problem because nothing else in the deck really counterblasts that you need it. So 4 of him.
I hate him.
I like him. I run 2 normal Daiyusha. I do this to get the cross ride off. Also, it gives you extra grade 3s for Daikaiser's effect to make sure it's active. That's basically it. Just to get the cross ride off, which is really easy with some of the grade 1s they've given us. So, the main grade 3 is Great Daiyusha. He's Daiyusha's cross ride. Limit break 4 during my turn. If I have 3 or more Dimensional Robos in my soul, he gets plus 2,000 power and a crit. Really good. It's a constant crit, especially with Break Ride. You should always, and Dimagnum, you should always have what you need in the soul to get his effect off. Obviously, cross ride, so he'll be a 13k base on both turns. The only drawback to him is his limit break is a continuous, so say you're attacking and you drive check a heal trigger, which heals you under limit break, he loses the effect. So literally the only drawback to him. Other than that, he's a great card, solid. I've been running him literally since the release. It's my favorite card.
This is my least favorite Sneak Peek weekend.
Ha, it's great. And then my last grade 3 I run is 1 Diard. I run him simply to fix the grade 3s. Sometimes you just suck and you draw the wrong card, and he lets you suck up a rear guard. So for instance, you could grab one of him, pop him in the soul, ride him from the deck, and your cross ride's good and you fixed your field. Obviously not ideal because you want to be able to Break Ride, but it's a last minute if nothing else happens and you really need to make sure you hit your grade 3. So those are my grade 3s.
And he busts a shield when you're break ridden.
Yeah, and he's just another grade 3 to hit the shield breaker with. So for my grade 2s, I don't run a lot. I have 2 Die Heart. I run him just in case, and it's stupid that I run him for the situation, but it happens a lot. If I open 2 of him, I'm convinced that just these 2 cards float in my deck because I will play multiple games where I open both of them. So his skill, when he attacks and he has 1,300 or more power, he gets the ability when his attack hits, put 2 grade 3s in your soul and Superior Ride at rest a Dimensional Robo grade 3 from your deck. So you can pop the 2 Daiyushas into the soul and ride Daikaiser, so you're set up whenever you hit your next grade 3. Dimagnum sets him off. Other than that, he's just a good tech, I guess. Next, I run 3 Kaizard. He's the trial deck card. He says when a Dimensional Robo rides this unit, choose one of your vanguards, and that unit gets plus 5,000 power until the end of turn. Basically, he's a baby break ride. It's kind of silly. It's just fun for the extra pressure, which is all you want to make sure you're doing with Dimensional Robos. And then the most important grade 2 is Daiyusha. Daiyusha is your 12k attacker. He's the only basically aggro rearguard you have on the deck, so he's kind of a lifeline. It's pretty much the drawback to Dimensional Robos is the fact that they don't have good rearguard support, so this guy is your absolute best friend. For my grade 1s, for Die Shield, he's the perfect guard, Dimensional Robo specific. Yeah, self-explanatory, Sentinels. I run 2 Dilander. I used to run more because this deck doesn't counterblast a lot, but I wanted to try adding another Commander Laurel in here. So I only run 2 right now. He said when he's placed on rearguard, you can counterblast 1 and choose one of your units with Dimensional Robo in the name, and that unit gets plus 4,000 power until end of turn. So he can ignite Die Heart, he can ignite Daiyusha, and he can just add more pressure to your break ride turns. Super important is Glorymaker. She's, in my opinion, one of the best old school 10k Vanguard boosters because you only have to be at 4 damage to get the 10k boost off of her, which is really good. It's not like stupid, weird criteria, and because your deck goes off at 4 damage anyway, she's ideal. Only drawback to her is she's not a Dimensional Robo name, which really doesn't do anything unless you're forced to ride her, which even then, there's ways to fix it, so. MVP of the grade 1s, I'm sure everyone knows by now, is Commander Laurel. I used to run him at 1 because in Vanguard you can run Text of 1 and you will see the card, but I decided to bump him up in 2 just to make sure I can hit it because with Legion out, the deck lost a lot of its pressure. So he's definitely a pressure card. People hate him the second he hits the board, and a lot of people will spend a lot of resources just to get him off or make sure you don't get to use his effect. So he's great, adds the pressure to the deck, which is what this deck is all about. And last for the grade 1s, I run 4 Go Cannon. Basically, they don't have a lot of really good rear guards, and even though I could run a 7k attacker, I prefer Go Cannon because his skill says I can choose him and 1 other Dimensional Robo I own on the board, put him into the soul, my Vanguard gets an extra crit till the end of the turn. So basically he fixes your cross ride if you didn't fix it with Die Hard or if you didn't just traditionally ride it. So he's great, he makes the cross ride easier to get, and you're only sacrificing 1,000 power, which because this deck already has such bad rear guards, it's not really a big deal because you already know your rear guards aren't going to be doing anything anyway. So. And for the triggers, running it a little weird, but 5 draws, because you always need to make sure you've got stuff in your hand. 7 crits, because crits are fun, that's what this deck is about, and if you just, it's fun to see the sour look on people's faces when you like quadruple crit them in a turn.
And I hate you so much.
And then 4 heals, obviously self-explanatory. So I run the draws because you just want to be able to make sure you hit what you need during your games. So that's my deck. I've been playing the Great Daiyusha, like I said, since he came out. He's the only deck I've been able to place with at regionals, and he's my absolute favorite deck. If you couldn't tell, Kotei is my favorite character. So if you have any comments or suggestions, feel free to put them in the comment section down below.
There you go.
I'll be updating this deck when the Legion for Great Daiyusha comes out, which is February 27th, I think, yeah. It comes out in the first wave of G trial decks, so you'll have an updated video then. Thanks for watching, and remember to like, comment, and subscribe.
Bye, guys.